Hari Om. Gently close your eyes. Your fingers interlaced and placed in front. Your back, neck and head erect. Your body relaxed. Breathing normal. Next, attend to your mind. Let all the thoughts slowly die away. Sahana vavatu, sahanam bhunattu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Let us chant the Atma Bodha, the first 10 shlokas, along with the invocatory prayer. Om Pratasmarami Hridisam Spuradhatma Tattvam Satchit Sukham Paramaham Sagatim Turiyam Yat Swapna Jagara Sushuptamaveti Nityam Tad Brahma Nishkalamaham Nacha Bhuta Sangaha Tapo Bhikshena Papanam Shantanam Vitaraginam Mumukshu Namapekshyoyam Atma Bodho Vidhiyate Bodhonya Sadhanebhyo Hi Sakshan Mokshaika Sadhanam Pakasya Vahnivajnanam Vina Moksho Na Siddhyate Avirodhitaya Karma Na Vidyam Vinivartayet Vidya Vidyam Nihantyeva Tejastimira Sangavat Parichinna iva jnanat Tannashe sati kevalaha Swayam prakashate hyatma Megha payeshu maniva Ajnana kalusham jivam Jnanabhyasad vinirmalam Kritva jnanam swayam nashyet Jalam katakarenuvat Samsara swapnatulyo hi Ragat dveshati sankulaha Swakale satyavad bhati Prabodhe satyasad bhavet Tavat satyam jagat bhati शुक्तिकारजतं यथा यावन्न ज्ञायते ब्रह्म सर्वाधिष्ठानमद्वयम् उपादानेऽखिलाधारे जगन्ति परमेश्वरे सर्गस्थितिलयान्यान्ति बुद्बुधानीव वारिणि सच्चिदात्मन्यनुस्यूते नित्ये विष्णौ प्रकल्पिताः व्यक्तयो विविधाः सर्वाः हाटके कटकादिवत् यथाकाशो ऋषिकेशः नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद् भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. The topic summary: role of faith, not to criticize others or find faults, I know attitude, concept of devotion, have a purpose in life, do not justify your actions, what toys that bring joys. So the first topic we discussed was role of faith. How faith is utmost importance in spiritual sadhana, be it material path or the spiritual path. Without faith, no action is possible by human beings. As Joel Goldsmith says, faith is a bird that feels the light. It is Rabindranath Tagore. Faith is a bird that feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. If we combine this quotation along with Joel Goldsmith, faith is a belief in a thing which I do not know until I come to know what I believe in. So if we combine these two definitions, quotations, then we understand the glimpse of what faith is. In fact, Shraddha is beyond this definition, beyond this quotation. Because we do not know what that self-realization is, what God is. So when a person is telling us from one's personal experience, we are only hearing it. It is like all men, we do not know what that experience, personal experience of carrying a womb in the stomach as a lady. We don't have that experience. Therefore, we do not know what that experience is. At best, we can only hear. If a person slaps another person, that pain that the person goes through, he is narrating that experience. Unless a person has that similar experience, we do not know what that pain is. Same way, self-realization is something which we have to experience it. Only then we know what it is. Therefore, faith is of utmost importance. Not to criticize others. After faith, the first and foremost thing in spiritual path is not to find fault in the external world. Be it an ashram life where human beings are living around, human tendency is to find fault. To that extent, even in the master. take the teachings, do that manana on the teaching, leave aside the personal life of the teacher, of the master. So when we perform that manana, then we move on to nididhyasana. That should be the focus when we gain knowledge. That is not there, this is not there. Continuously finding fault with people. Food is not good, room is not tidy, whatever it is. Let us take that responsibility. That 100% responsibility upon ourselves. Then that I know attitude, that concept of surrender. It's like that 6 blind men and the elephant. They are so sure that what they touched and felt, one is saying they're blind in the first place. They're saying the elephant is like a wall, the elephant is like a spear, the elephant is like a rope, the elephant is like a snake, the elephant is like a fan. There is no doubt at all. So when we have various paths, karma, bhakti and jnanam, when we have chosen a particular path, then, when with faith we are taking every step. So, to be on the safer side, whether we are on the right path or not, we need to have faith. But the concept of surrender to that master, when a person is ignorant in a field, example medicine, we surrender to the person who is knowledgeable in that field. We don't have to prostrate ourselves to that person. That knowledge the person possesses. For that we surrender. In areas of ignorance, there has to be that sharanagati, surrender. It is not blind surrender, blind faith here. A person has to question the facts of life. The master is elucidating some concepts, the law of causation, the theory of perception, whatever be it is. If you are not able to understand, then question the master and try to understand the concept so that we can tread the path in the right way. Then the concept of devotion. Serving mankind is serving God. If we are serving God, then we should also serve our fellow men, our neighbors. If we hate our neighbor, then there is no point in serving God. We may spend morning, noon and night in the temple, but even if there is one enemy, so the question boils down to, it is not 999 people whom we serve that matters. That one person whom we hate. Therefore, the first quality of, the 35th quality of a bhakta, a devotee of God, is advaita. Dvesha means otherness, hatred. Advaita means prefixing any word in Sanskrit is non, non in English. That gives opposite meaning. Vegetarian, non-vegetarian. So, Advaita, no hatred, sarva bhutanam, for any beings. It is not that we love all humanity, when we don't love the animal species. It is not that. Even that amoeba, that bacteria is also a living being, a living creature. Anything which has got life is a living being. Then you may ask the question, then how we live life? We are walking, we are driving a vehicle. On the way, we may be unknowingly killing many germs, insects, etc. We sneeze. We are breathing in oxygen. Living beings, for that matter, small microorganisms or something that's got life is taken in. When we sneeze, they may die. Then are we not living a life of, that Advaita here? The concept is, as far as possible, minimum damage, destruction to the society. We can't live on dead matter. So when we are feeding, when we are taking in the plant kingdom, vegetables or whatever, the minimum damage, destruction, that matters. We are not animals to live on dead matter. Our stomach will not digest that. So understanding this concept, this value, and proportioning it. Have a purpose in life. The next topic. Friends, what is very important? We may have all the, qualities, but without a purpose, there is no direction in life. It is that ambition, that aim, that gives us the direction in life. So the purpose, dream big, is of very important quality here. Important, it is like a mark, a symbol. You see a river which is moving. It is ever fresh. There is life. That river which is not moving accumulates dirt. It not only putrefies, the environment also gets destroyed. Same way, if human beings, we do not perform our action, we not only putrefy, we destroy the environment. In what way? We are setting examples for others to follow, to be lazy, inactive. The young ones will take it up. Do not justify your actions. The next topic. So every action can be categorized as daily routine duty. Obligatory actions can be categorized as nitya karma action, nitya daily, routine, naimittika special, occasional karma duty. These two have to be performed. Daily routine duty and special occasional duty has to be performed whether we like it or not. How do we perform this action? When we perform an action, we perform to, like an offering to the Lord. It is like if a basket has got flowers and there's an idol. So the basket of flowers is kept in the ground. We pick up that flower like this, and then we don't chuck it like this, like a cricket ball or a tennis ball. We pick it up and then turn it upside down. With that bhavana, devotion, we offer it like this at the feet of the idol. We don't check it on the face. Any festival for that matter, or whether we go to a temple and pray, we pick it up, give it a direction, pick that flower, give that direction upwards, and then offer it like this. And it goes and falls there at the feet of the Lord. So that feet of the Lord represents the ideal, for which we are functioning for the purpose, the objective. That flower is our vasana, our nature, our action, our daily routine. That vasana gets expressed as physical action. That vasana, that very nature, vasana is a Sanskrit word derived from the root called vas, V-A-S, means fragrance, nature. So that vasana expresses as thought in the intellect, feelings, emotions, likes, dislikes, desires in the mind, and action at the physical level. So when we pick up this thought, feeling, emotion, desire, and the physical action, it is like picking up a flower, a thought, a feeling, a desire, physical action. Give it a direction. So it is not that we offer this action selfishly to that ideal. We give it that unselfishness, that upward direction, as it were, and then offer, oblate it, and offer that ahuti at the feet of the Lord, the ideal. That is why this is called as samarpanam. Everything is offered. What is offered? Thoughts, desires, and action. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, and the physical action. Everything is offered at the feet of the Lord. What happens? All the, like how one by one we have picked up that flower and then we have offered to the feet of the Lord. Then after some time there is nothing left in the basket. The basket is empty. Same way, when we have exhausted all our vasanas, thoughts, desires and action, there is nothing left. And that is what is called as self-realization. What have we done? We have performed all our nitya karma, naimittika karma and offered it unselfishly at the altar of the idol, the ideal. That's it. And that is what is self-realization is. But the point here is, do not justify your action, the forbidden action. In the process, we have also created many desires which are not supposed to be done. Nishibdha and also kamya karma, desire-ridden. Kamya, desire-ridden. What happens is, when we perform that action with the desire backing it, then the desire multiplies. Create us more desires for the future. So it is like a vicious cycle, it continues. Forbidden action, we are not supposed to do certain actions. The points we discussed was, not coveting another's wife, not coveting another's property. Traditionally, two examples are given. One from the Ramayana, coveting another's wife. One from the Mahabharata, coveting another's property. And till today, this is what is happening. All the time people are running after materiality and sensuality. Period. The topic for the day is what toys that bring joys. So if you see right from childhood, 0 to 5 years, that boy or girl has innocently picked up all the playthings, shells, pebbles, marbles, stones, toys. That toy give that boy joy. when the toy is not there, joy is not there for the boy. The same boy grows up, picks up better toys. All the time there is dependence on that external object. When the same person becomes an adult, finds better toys in the form of objects and beings. When that small boy was playing with remote control cars, now this adult is playing with, four-wheel drive cars moving on the road. When this boy is playing with dolls, now this adult is find that fascination for a lady. So without that object or being, the individual is miserable. The point here is that comfort that toys give is what the point of discussion here is. For how long? The question is, for how long a human being is going to derive that happiness from the toys? That is a question to be asked. So in a poem called The Toys, Commentary Patmore beautifully talks about a motherless child playing with the toys, couple of times disturbs the father at desk, is busy in something, and the father kept on saying, I will join you, please get back to your room. Because there is no one to accompany the child comes back and again and disturbs the father. The father, without any thought, strikes the child, beat the child, impulsively. The child goes to the bedroom, crying and fast asleep. After some time, father feels sorry for the child and goes to the bedroom, and father sees the child fast asleep with still the eyelashes are still wet. And by the bedside, father finds all the playthings the child was playing with. And he feels so sorry for the child that he has struck the child. And at that time, he is thinking how those toys gives the child, his own son, that comfort, that joy. And he is saying there that how one day the child will grow out of that state. God forgive all those adults who do any mistake. When we know something which is wrong, we will not do it. Then when we do it, we are doing out of ignorance. So because of the childishness in us, we perform that action. We discussed about that kamya karma. We perform that karma, that action, that forbidden action or whatever, and then sometimes we repent for it, sometimes we don't. But that forgiveness part there is that God forgives all those who have done that mistake. Same way here in this poem, that father forgives the child for the mistake. The mistake is the disturbance there. He later repents for that. So that beautiful, line there, that 4 lines talking about, and thou rememberest of what toys we made our joys, how weakly understood thy great commanded good. So he's saying there that the childishness in us attracts us to all the worldly toys. When you are a little child, the child is attracted to that bicycle or the tricycle. The child is attracted to the tricycle. The tricycle is everything for the child. So if the same child now grows up, gains little knowledge, when I'm talking about growth here, when we are talking about growth, assuming that the child is grown with knowledge, then that toy called that tricycle does not give any comfort, any joy to this child. Whereas that same child now, the grown-up child, entertain a better desire called the bicycle. You want to take this tricycle? Keep it. The child has renounced it. Now, this child riding the bicycle, if anybody comes and sits on that cycle, don't touch this, this is mine. The child now gains knowledge, goes to school, picks up a book, a comic book. Then this tricycle and bicycle have no meaning. It's gone. It's renounced. Like that, when we grow bigger and bigger, we gain more and more knowledge, then the desires pertaining to the older aspect of life is all forgotten, it's all renounced. They have no value. If we have value, then we still hold on to that. That is why you will find many adults, grown-ups, if they are still clinging on to the erstwhile desires, we say, how childish are you? Innocently holding on to those toys, desires. So the poem here is talking about that one day we have to grow out of those childishness. Like how that adult has that capacity to forgive the child for the, you can't say a mistake here, ignorantly performing an action. Then who is going to forgive this adult? Is this adult Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect? May not be. So there are others who are grown up than this person. So at every stage, there are persons, those who have, risen above others. Then the highest being, God forgive every one of us. So a beautiful quotation there, forgiveness is the fragrance the violet releases as the foot crushes it. Oscar Wilde puts it. Again some sound in the background. Please cooperate with me. So here commentary Patmore is talking about a couple of things. The point here is that the childishness in us which makes us perform that action ignorantly, and how we forgive those who are childish. Same way, the ultimate thing is God forgives all those who have been spiritually ignorant, and that's what the word called balaha. Balaha means children. So in this context, we can use it as spiritual infants. Then the second aspect is that comfort, the joy that we derive from that toy. So if you see in Bhajagovindam, Shankara beautifully puts it as balastavat krida saktaha. Bala means child. So as long as childhood lasts, one is attached to play. Balastavat krida sakta, tarunastavat taruni sakta. As an adult, a person is attached to a damsel. Damsel here in the sense, literally a lady. That lady has got that attraction, therefore this adult is attracted to that person. In fact, what is one person is attractive for another person, whereas the same person is not attracted by all. So that one person has that attraction. So in Parsat they always used to joke. A lady is desperate, to divorce a man. Or the other way around, that man is desperate to divorce this lady. The point is not what problem they are going through. The point is that person being the same is liked by one and disliked by another. So one person does not like that lady. Another person is desperately waiting to marry the same lady. Is waiting when the divorce will take place. Lady being the same produces pleasure to one, pain to another. So that pleasure or pain is not there in that person, the way how we relate with it. Same way all this, toys that we all have, there is no joy per se. The way how we relate with it. That's why we ask the question that how long this toy is going to give us that joy. That initial enthusiasm, as long as that enthusiasm is there, there is joy. But once that initial enthusiasm is lost, then we want something else. We become desperate. So these are the 2 points that we discuss in this particular topic here. So if you see the next topic, what we'll be entering into will be desiring versus deserving. The concept of desires and deserving. So if you see the cogency of thought here, faith, not to find fault, surrender, devotion, have a purpose, then not to justify actions, toys that bring us joys, then desires versus deserving. Friends, we all have innumerous desires. All our desires are not fulfilled. Those desires are fulfilled only when we pay the price for it. A person has a desire for a particular object, the latest electronic gadget, that mobile phone. That object of desire is in the shop, is being launched, is still in the shop. A person may have the capacity to buy that product. Money is there, but still there is a gap, a bridge between the gap between the desirer and the object. How that object comes to this person. When the person is obsessed, crave, long for it, yearn for it, the object of desire doesn't come to that person. The person is attached to that very desire to possess that object. The same thing holds good for attaining a being also. The formula is same for a child longing for an eraser or a sharpener, a pencil, ranging to anything. And the same principle is applied in the spiritual field also, yearning for self-realization. We won't get it. Obsessed with the thought. The object of desire, self-realization, eludes this person. Only when we turn our back, meaning when we have a desire and that obsession part is not there, that craving part is not there, how does it happen? And that is what the price we pay for it. So it is that price of desiring and not having that yearning, not having that obsession that attracts that object of desire. And in that context, desiring versus deserving. That's a beautiful point here. The olive tree by Sabine bearing gold. Two hermits wanted olive oil for their sapling for the evening prayer. So both of them asked for sapling. God granted their wish. Both of them planted. One person planted, asked for rain, sunshine, frost, etc. God granted every wish, but in the evening the plant died. Whereas the other person asked for the sapling, planted it, did what he is supposed to do, and then left everything else to God. So this person, the first hermit whose plant died, went to the other hermit who was reclining on a rocky sill. That's what the poet says. You please tell me, how is it that my plant is dead, your plant is thriving? So beautifully, Sabine bearing gold talks about, he who made knew what it needed better than a man like me. So all that I am supposed to do, I did it and left everything else to God. No wonder my plant is living, your plant is dead. So desiring and deserving, we will take it up in detail in the next session. Hari Om.